Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're looking back at my books of the year for 2023. So if you're looking for that perfect gift, hopefully this is the video for you. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so we'll start off with last year's winner. So this was the my book of the year for 2022, Rayguns and Rocket Ships by Rian Hughes. Vintage science fiction book cover art. Boy oh boy, this is a great book, and obviously this is still in print, so I highly recommend this one. So if you didn't get round to getting this one last year, then now is your chance to put it on your gift list. Absolutely fantastic stuff in here, and you'll be hard pushed to find anything better than this in the realms of science fiction, classic science fiction cover art. Absolutely fantastic. Beautifully designed book, and well, the content just says it all, doesn't it, really? So there's a lot to enjoy in this particular book. Brilliant stuff. So that, for me, was last year's winner. So Rayguns and Rocket Ships. Now what I'll do, as we work our way through all the different books that we're going to see today, I shall put a link in my description down below so you can jump to the dedicated review. So I did a half-hour review of this book last year, and I'll link to that. And then if you decide if you want to watch that video, you can do. If you want a bit more about it, I'll also link to be able to buy these books also online as well. So as I suggested, these might be a few ideas for sort of Christmas presents or birthday presents coming up to the end of the year, really. This one was the first copy of this I've ever bought, actually, with the Digest Enthusiast. Quite good fun, this one. I mean, I'm not a massive Digest collector. I've got some, of course, but this really did open my eyes to so many things that I'd never really known about in the world of Pulp Digest, and it was a great read. A nice variety of writers, really good, nice format, and almost digest size in itself. And yeah, I was really impressed with that one. So that's definitely going to be one that I buy every single year. Next we got the Mystery, Crime and Noir notebook. This is by noted collector Gary LOVISI over in the States. Gary also has a dedicated vintage paperback YouTube channel, which I can highly recommend. So this is a compilation of Gary's articles that have been published in his magazine, which I also have here. A couple of issues of Paperback Parades. This is once again published in the States 3 times a year. Very good. It's got a good mixture of articles. I've written for it myself a few times, and I recommend this one. You can buy it from Gryphon Books, which is the publisher. This one here is published by Starkhouse Press, the Mystery, Crime and Noir notebook, and once again I had a great time going through this one. It was full of information, tidbits, and lots of information I'd never really sort of taken in before. I don't know a lot massively about crime and noir. It's an area that I'm still learning about, and it was really great to read some stuff in there. So once again, you might be tempted with that one. It's a good book. Now the next one is actually a little selection. So these were published in the UK by Penguin, and Penguin have relaunched their Crime and Espionage series in the very traditional green colours here, which I think are lovely. So they released, there's 20 now, 2 lots of 10, and I brought a few down here just to show you a little idea of what they're like. And the covers are designed by Matthew Young, who did all the covers, and they really are absolutely classic crime titles. So as I said, there's 20. They're not numbered, so you can just go through. I did pick up the first 10 because, well, I guess that's just me, but and the titles were excellent, but you know, you can just cherry pick the best ones that you fancy, but they're in this great sort of green livery, and I think you're going to really enjoy them. I think there's only, you know, these are the first sort of reissues that we're looking at this time around. I do have some more in a moment, but I think they were done particularly well, and you might want to track down some of those new ones. These are the editions that you'll find. It's a bit like a Penguin Modern Classics, but just for crime, really. Now we've got a few books from PS Publishing. I actually had 3 come my way this year by Stephen Jones, and they're part of his Masters of Horror series, which is fantastic. So that's the full list of them there, and we've got a few more to show you today, but this was the first one, which was Robert Silverberg's Monsters and Things. So some very early stories by Robert Silverberg, more noted for science fiction rather than horror, but these are his sort of creepy stories here. So I think you might enjoy that one. Once again, it's PS Publishing. Their quality is excellent. I really admire the quality of their books, particularly. So yeah, if you like Silverberg, I think you'll enjoy that one. Now, this next one here, the Trials of Hank Janson, this actually is a re-release. It's by Steve Holland, and Steve, I think, first published one, may have been as much as 20 years ago, but since then a lot more information has come to light, and Steve's done even more research, and this was definitely my book of the year with regards sort of the history of paperbacks. I thought it was really, really good. A great snapshot of the British sort of paperback scene post Second World War, and the sort of the pulpy publishers that sprouted up from the late 40s into the early 50s. Very, very interesting indeed. And so if you are interested in sort of the history of paperback publishing, this is obviously UK based, then that might be a book for you. Certainly it can be recommended. Due to be published but not out just yet, so it might end up going in next year's video. Steve has got a brand new book out on the history of Badger books, which I think is going to be fantastic. Now here's the second one in the Steve Jones Library of Horror, and this is his look at the original screenplay to King Kong. So Edgar Wallace wrote the original screenplay, which was then adapted a little bit and made into the final movie. But this doesn't just look at that and reprint the script. It looks at all the sort of the influences that may, and Edgar Wallace's early life as well. I found it an absolutely fascinating read because I didn't really know a lot about Edgar Wallace, and this was a real revelation. I really, really enjoyed this one, much more than I thought I was going to. This is all fantastic, all these early influences that probably influenced Edgar Wallace, you know, and then right down to the making of the actual film itself. It's really, really great, even through to the premiere. Literally, as soon as I finished it, I went and watched the original one, and I enjoyed it immensely, knowing what I learned after reading this book. So yeah, this is highly, highly recommended, this one. So that's Kong, the original screenplay by Edgar Wallace, and I am going to pull the camera out a little bit for the next few. Okay, next we've got the last 3 issues of the Men's Adventure Quarterly magazines. That's issues 9, 8 and 7. Absolutely fantastic. I've contributed a small article to this one here, in the Gang Girls issue, and this is really, really great magazine. This one, it's a lot of fun. It's now published in lots of different formats. You can get it in this full size, full color, glossy version like that, which is the way I like them, but you can also get these in like a condensed black and white version, so all the content's there, just not quite as glossy, and you can also get them in a digital form now for your e-reader if that's the way you consume your books, you know. Here was number 8 here. This is the heavy hitters, and this is all like classic reprints from the classic men's adventure magazines of the 50s, 60s and early 70s, and this is literally the most recent issue, Croc Attack. Great read again. They always have really good guest editors, and Andrew Nettie's article on sort of the Australian pulp mags and men's mags was, I thought, particularly fascinating in this one. Don't know much about the Australian market at all. Here we are. Yeah, this is a Men's Adventure Down Under. Absolutely fascinating article. So yeah, it's just filled with this sort of stuff. So if you're looking for a bit of classic action, beautifully designed book, as you can see. Bill Cunningham of Pulp 2.0 designs, in fact, quite a few of the books we're going to see today are designed by him. I think you're really in for a treat, and they're just so great. They really, really are. So yeah, Men's Adventure Quarterly, quite easy to find online. So but as I said, full links in the description down below, along with my dedicated reviews of them. Now this is a fantastic book. This is volume 1 of The Art of Ron Lesser, Deadly Dames and Sexy Sirens. This is edited by Bob Dice, Bill Cunningham and J. Kingston Pierce, and this is a look, the first look at Ron Lesser's artwork, a lot of his paperback, classic paperback and movie poster artwork, and this was, as you can see, it's a beautiful book. Yeah, he did do the original art to Zardos, which was used on the paperback adaptation. Lovely, isn't it? This really is a very, very nice book indeed, this. I didn't know much about Ron Lesser as an artist in his own right, and I learned a lot, and this is like a chronological look through his career. As you can see, plenty of eye candy, which is what we like in these sorts of books. Very, very lavish. I'm so glad it was done in hardback as well. It makes a big difference. Yeah. Yeah, nice book, that one. I think that's one you would enjoy. Now, next one is more bibliographical. So it was the second long-awaited volume of Shane Agnew's bibliographic history of John Spencer Stroke Badger books, and volume 2 came out just a couple of months ago. That was looking at the Westerns, the Foreign Legion titles, the war ones as well. So really, really great. All the covers are pictured, and you got a bibliographical checklist of all the stories that were inside and who the various pseudonyms were. And that was a companion, that was number 2 to the first volume, which came out a couple of years ago, which looked at their odd comics and then science fiction and supernatural series, which is perhaps their most collectible one. So once again, that's the first 2 volumes, and there will be one more coming, hopefully quite soon. So worth getting those. Next was another absolutely great book. I really, really enjoyed this one. So this is by Michael Stradford, and Michael's been putting out a series of books looking at the career of Steve Holland, who was a male model in the States and used on countless paperback covers. There he is. And this is another collection of classic covers which Steve was used on, and this is, once again, it's truly, truly terrific. I just love this sort of stuff. And the quality of this book is really something, as you can see. It's just fantastic. Now, the only thing is, a lot of the books are perhaps not as, not my top reads as it were. They're not the sort of books that I read a lot of. Some of these men's adventure series, they just don't appeal to me. Some do, but on the whole, they don't. So I'm not so find those so appealing. But some of the earlier stuff, I think, is just fantastic. And the science fiction ones here, the Conan ones, yeah, it's just awesome. Absolutely brilliant. These earlier ones appeal to me more than the later titles. I love the Westerns as well. As you see, brilliant. It's a real treat for the eyes, this one. Big thick book as well. Loads to go through here. I've read this one twice now. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, plenty to see here and enjoy. I think you'll agree. Very, very nice indeed. So that's Steve Holland, Paperback Hero. Yeah, and as I said, there's 3 other books in this series. So if you're thinking of the Torn Shirt Sessions, the world's greatest illustration art model, and Steve Holland Cowboy, and once again, a really long dedicated review of that one on the channel, which I shall link to. Now a magazine again, so we've had 2 more issues of Paperback Fanatic. This is from Justin Marriott, and it includes articles and columns by, well, the cream of paperback collectors around the globe, really. And I think it's fantastic. It's absolutely stacked with stuff, and there's always plenty in here to see. I just wish there was maybe 3 issues a year rather than just the 2. But I love the new format. The design, cover design by Bill, is also fantastic again. And I think it's a great, great magazine. And yeah, if you collect paperbacks, you do need to pick up this one. It's as simple as that. There's lots to enjoy in here. There really is. Good stuff. Yeah, Paperback Fanatic. That's this year's issues 46 and 47. Another excellent book. Really, really enjoyed this. Now, this one had a very limited run in hardback. Then this is the more popular paperback edition, which is what was published this year. And now they've just, as I film this, released another limited hardback printing of it, which I wish I had known about, because I would have bought that. But not to worry, I've now got this. So this is looking at the history of the sadly now departed Christos Achillos, by far the greatest Doctor Who target book artist ever. I do rank him above Andrew Skilleter. His early work was fantastic. As you can see, this is just almost iconic. I just love them so much. I really, really do. They're just stunning. Yeah, what a great, great book this was. Yeah, I'd say for Doctor Who artists, I think it's Chris Achillos is my favourite. Then it would be Andrew Skilleter, particularly his early 80s work. Around the time of the 5 Doctors, I think he was on top form then. They're probably my 2 favourites. And then I do like the early 70s Frank Bellamy stuff, but that was more not really used for book jackets. But there we are. So I recommend this one, I really do. It's a great, great book, particularly if you're into Doctor Who. You're not going to go far wrong with that one. Now, next we've got still got some more to do, is Lawrence Block. So this one was published by New Texture, and this is a collection of Lawrence Block's very early stories from the men's adventure magazines. It's done in this beautiful hardback. You can get it in paperback as well, a trade paperback. It's an absolutely outstanding book, this one, and you know, it's Lawrence Block, so you know you've got that guarantee of quality. And these are really, really great. Each story is like a small intro, gives you a little bit of a historical context, where the magazine, where the story originally came from, what magazines it was in. It is recommended, and yeah, I was lucky enough to get the one of the few signed ones. So I'm not sure if there's any of these left now. There's just a couple of hundred by Lawrence Block. Robert Dyson White Door, a real treasure, that one, and yeah, really, really great stuff. Also from New Texture, similar dimensions, also in paperback as well as this rather funky hardback. Here's Atomic Werewolves and Man-Eating Plants. More stories from the pulled from the men's adventure magazines, but this much more unlike the magazines, more done like a book, as you can see. Really, really nice. Got that textured sort of off-white paper colour. It's just great. These are absolute delight to read. Very, very similar to the PS Publishing books, like the Kong book, for example. It just feels, even though it's a hardback, it just feels really great in the hand, and beautifully illustrated, as you can see. So a real nice, high quality item, and lots and lots of people have been raving about these books. They're just so good. Little article on 100 Years of Weird Tales, and they got that fantastic one there, The Vampire Master. Out of all of them, I think that's the copy of Weird Tales I'd love to get. Absolutely iconic. Yeah, Margaret Brundage. A great book, that one, and definitely worth being on your radar. Next, we've got a couple of modern books. So these are reissues. The author is called, how do you pronounce it? Hiroaki Murakami is the author. He's Japanese, and Penguin, under their Vintage Classics imprint, have published these hardbacks. They did 3 last year, and they've done 3 this year, re-releasing Murakami's novels. And I read this one this year. I had to choose his thickest one, didn't I? It's basically, in Japan, there was this was 3 books, 3 separate books that have been put together to become the Wind Up Bird Chronicle. These are, I've got brand new commissioned jackets. They've got the belly bands around them, so they're all different. And each book has got a brand new introduction by Murakami, which I found fascinating. It gives you a bit of the history about what he was doing. Here we are, when he was actually writing the books. Perhaps I wouldn't recommend Wind Up Bird Chronicle as the first one you read, simply because it's such a massive book, and you might think it's a huge undertaking. But believe me, there are parts of this that are absolutely unforgettable and quite shocking. In fact, I remember about, I don't know, a third of the way through, I was reading one of the bits quite late at night, and it was so disturbing I had to get up and have a little walk around just to sort of calm down, because it was really, really something. Highly, highly recommended. A little bit surreal. There's elements of sort of science fiction in there as well. I think that's prevalent in all his writing. So I do recommend these re-releases. Here's another one. This one came out last year, Sputnik Sweetheart. Same format again, with the belly bands and the newly commissioned jacket. This is actually one I got off eBay, and it was a first printing to boot. So that was really, really cool. So as I said, really nice. There's 6 in all to get so far. I guess they'll be releasing 6 a year. 3 each year, and the first 6 are out now. So yeah, you might want to track those Murakami down. They make great gifts. And if you've never read him, which I never had, I highly recommend those books. Now we've got the Toy Polloi annual. So this is action figure related. Dave runs channel Toy Polloi, and this is his 2nd annual. Last year's was equally good. These are published by Fusion, and these are a collection of Dave's Fusion articles plus brand new material, all looking at the world of action figures and sort of 70s, 80s, 90s collectible toys. It's brilliant stuff. Really, really great. Nice little book, this one, and yeah, comes recommended, but get them while you can. Last year sold out very, very quickly. They only publish a few thousand. Dave only publishes a few thousand of these, so make sure, if you want one of these, to contact Dave through his channel. Nice little publication, this. Yeah, recommend the old Toy Polloi book. Now, the final book we're looking at in our books of the year is this one, which is the most recent one that came my way, which was The Weird Boys by Stephen Jones again. This is the third book of his this year. This is the hardback edition of it. And this one looks at the careers of Robert E. Howard, H.P. Lovecraft and Clark Ashton Smith, the Weird Tales boys. So these all started their careers in the Weird Tales pulp, which is celebrating its 100th birthday this year, 100th anniversary. And this looks at their early work in Weird Tales and right up to the latest influences in sort of more modern films, TVs, comics and what have you. Once again, a really, really fascinating book. Beautifully illustrated, nice clear black and white illustrations. And once again, I found this a really, really excellent read. I certainly did. It was great. Good stuff. Yeah, The Weird Tales boys. As I said, just been published. Well worth tracking down. It's an actually terrific read. I've got a friend who bought one as well. He said it was just superb. So worth tracking that one down. So there they all are. Quite a collection of books this year. Really, I mean, there just was. And as I said, love those Penguin Crime ones. The magazines are always really good value for money. I love anything published by PS and also New Texture. Fantastic stuff. The Men's Adventure Quarterly magazine, another absolute winner. And I've just love going through those as well. And of course, those new Murakamis as well, I think are absolutely fantastic. So well worth your time. However, I can only have one book of the year, and it was a difficult choice this year. It was a toss-up between two books. I was very much considering The Art of Ron Lesser Volume 1, but in this particular case, the book that just edged it, simply because there was a bit more to it, was Steve Holland, Paperback Hero. That was my 2023 book of the year. I think just from a paperback collector's point of view, plus the history behind it as well, the research, and just the gloriousness of the book itself, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, this was my 2023 book of the year. So fantastic work, Michael, and well deserved. Thanks to all the books that have been published this year. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, we are really living in a bit of a renaissance for this sort of stuff, and it should be celebrated and relished, really. It's just fantastic. As I said, if you want to see my detailed reviews of all these books, do check the description down below, where you can have a link to the video. You can have a link to picking them up yourself from Amazon or other online sources, or the publisher direct. So check those out. There we are. So I hope you found your perfect gift. I certainly have been inspired, and there's some great stuff in there which you may want to track down yourselves. Thanks to all the publishers who've sent me books this year for review purposes. Gratefully received, and boy, it makes this job a lot of fun, doesn't it? So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, do please hit that like button. If you're looking for more of this sort of content, do please subscribe to the channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon with another video. Bye.